Episode 1. Breaking Point. Once upon a time. The late afternoon sun cast long shadows across the polished floors of Omega Dynamics, a sprawling tech company known for its high-profile contracts and unforgiving expectations. Matthew leaned against the wall of a glass-walled conference room, his arms crossed, his jaw tight. His team had just lost yet another deal, a $15 million opportunity with Vertex Industries, and the post-mortem meeting was spiraling into finger-pointing. His manager, Ben Caldwell, paced at the front of the room, flipping through slide after slide of painfully familiar data. "We didn't connect with the economic buyer," Ben said, his voice sharp. "We didn't present a strong enough business case, and once again the competition undercut us on price." Matthew clenched his jaw. It wasn't the first time Ben had laid the blame squarely on the team's lack of value selling. But the problem wasn't just them. The tools they were given were inadequate. The business case templates were rigid and generic, incapable of addressing the unique concerns of decision-makers like Vertex's CFO. Matthew had spent weeks trying to adapt them, but when he presented his work, the CFO called it uninspired and dismissed it outright. "Price is what they see because we aren't showing them value," Ben concluded, his words slicing through the silence. Chapter 2. The Struggles. Breaking Point. Back at his desk, Matthew opened his laptop, staring at the chaotic tangle of documents and emails that made up his pipeline. The challenges he faced were all too familiar. He struggled to engage key decision-makers like the economic buyer. His content lacked the depth and credibility to grab their attention. Stakeholders within his clients were fragmented. Multiple decision-makers with conflicting priorities made alignment feel impossible. When objections came, pricing dominated the conversation. Without a compelling way to show value, discounts became the default solution. And after deals closed, he had no mechanisms to showcase realized value, making renewals and upsells a gamble. Even more frustrating, Matthew knew these weren't just his challenges. They were the buyer's challenges too. CFOs didn't have time for endless product demos. They wanted transparent, credible insights they could trust. They needed solutions that aligned with fixed budgets and justified consensus among their teams. But Matthew felt stuck, using outdated tools and spending hours wrestling with clunky templates. That night, staring at yet another incomplete business case for Aegis Pharmaceuticals, his frustration boiled over. Chapter 3. The Search. A glimmer of hope. The tipping point came when Matthew received a late-night email from his champion at Aegis. "The CFO wants detailed ROI projections by Friday. Can you break down the cost savings and revenue growth?" It was Wednesday. Matthew exhaled sharply, his chest tightening. There has to be a better way. The tools he had were insufficient, and he couldn't keep pulling all-nighters only to lose deals to vague objections or no decisions. The next morning, Matthew's frustration turned into action. He spent hours scouring forums, articles, and LinkedIn posts, desperate for a solution. That's when he stumbled upon a post titled, "The Future of Value Selling: Why Business Cases Shouldn't Take Weeks." Intrigued, he clicked. The post described Value Seller, a platform that automated custom value models in minutes. It promised models that were transparent, clear and concise, with numbers that decision-makers could quickly digest. Transferable, designed to be shared across teams, ensuring the value story lived on, even when sellers weren't in the room. Customizable, tailored to the buyer's unique business scenarios, with adjustable assumptions to build ownership and trust. Defendable, built on sound assumptions that could withstand scrutiny from the CFO or board. Auditable, equipped to track and verify projected benefits, ensuring buyers saw realized value post-sale. Matthew's skepticism warred with his curiosity, but he signed up for a demo that afternoon. When the presenter uploaded sample data and generated a polished value model in minutes, Matthew's skepticism dissolved. Chapter 4. The Discovery, a Game Changer. Matthew's first test was the Aegis Pharmaceuticals deal. He uploaded the client's data, current inefficiencies, projected savings, and potential growth opportunities into Value Seller. The result? A sleek, visually compelling custom value model that addressed the buyer's specific challenges while showcasing measurable outcomes. The model didn't just focus on revenue growth. It highlighted operational efficiencies, showing how Aegis could cut costs by 30%. Risk avoidance, illustrating the financial impact of mitigating supply chain delays. A detailed ROI curve, with cumulative benefits far outpacing costs over time. Matthew presented the model to Aegis's CFO the next day. For the first time, the conversation shifted from pricing to outcomes. The CFO, once skeptical, leaned forward, nodding as Matthew walked through the numbers. "Now this," the CFO said, tapping the table, "is actionable. Let's move forward with the proposal." Chapter 5. The Aftermath, Transformation. Over the next few months, Matthew's entire approach to selling transformed. Value Seller helped him tackle the challenges that had once felt insurmountable. He gained access to economic buyers, using precise and engaging value models to secure meetings. He aligned multiple stakeholders, building consensus with models that addressed each decision-maker's priorities. He stopped offering discounts, instead showing how his solutions delivered measurable, long-term value. He started tracking realized value, turning satisfied customers into champions for renewals and upsells. But Matthew didn't stop there. He began coaching his colleagues, sharing his insights on how a good custom value model solved challenges for both buyers and sellers. Without revealing Value Seller, he taught them the 5 characteristics of winning business cases and how to build models that told a story. Chapter 6. A New Era. One day, after wrapping up a training session, a colleague pulled him aside. "Matt, how are you doing this? You've been unstoppable lately. What's your secret?" Matthew paused, considering his answer. "It's not a secret," he said with a grin. "It's just about focusing on the buyer, showing real value and staying sharp." But as he walked back to his desk, he couldn't help but smirk. His secret weapon, Value Seller, was safe for now. Matthew wasn't just a maverick anymore. He was a leader, a coach, and a catalyst for change. And while his secret weapon remained hidden, its impact was undeniable. For buyers, for sellers, and for the deals that changed everything. And so, the journey continued.